Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to Freaky Friday. It truly is Freaky Friday out there. I just wanted to step in here. I actually have been still having problems with my internet. I don't know if it's the company or if it's the area or what's going on, but um, so I'm actually just kind of out here testing it, and I hope you guys can see me if you can. Please let me know. Um, and let's see what else we have going on out there. There's so many strange things that are out there that are happening. And, I just could not hold myself back anymore and to not talk about the information that's out there right now. So, a lot of Epstein files have been released. A lot of people are hearing a lot of things, and a lot of normies are waking up out there. And all I can say is congratulations. Welcome aboard. It's about time. All right. As I was telling my husband, I said, it's been years and of doubt towards the people who have been awake, and now it's all over TikTok and the things that they're saying out there. It's just unbelievable. So the first thing that I want to start out with is just talking about a lot of Freaky Friday things that are actually going on out there. And there's a particular story on the mainstream media right now that seems to be going ape shit, if you will. And of course, if you've been awake for a while, you have to understand it's a shiny object, if you know what I mean by that. So I basically went out and I asked AI how many senior citizens have been reported missing in this last week, because we're only hearing about one particular 84-year-old woman, if you're following me. And so, basically, AI always comes back and says, oh, there's not an exact number for senior citizens. There's not a particular database, so on and so forth. It kind of tab stamps before it actually gives you any type of breakdown, if you will. But any type of breakdown that I'm looking for is just U.S. missing persons reports, right? There's usually around 600,000 cases, mostly resolved very quickly. But seniors make it the smallest subset. And you got to wonder why, and often related to wandering due to dementia and other abductions, right? And so, and the only thing that's taken up everybody's time right now is this particular story that happens to be out there. And I'm sure if you're one of these that want to that are trying to dig out, trying to find and dig deep, why this one particular story, why is it so important to put it in our face? Well, here's my thought on it. It's very short and brief, and what I will say to you, most of the people out there, is there were two things that were actually happening. Well, you've got social media, all the influencers out there, and on the other half of the world, there's two worlds. There really is two worlds that are going on. And then you have the mainstream media world, and then you have the influencers and TikToks and X, Rumble, and so on and so forth. And so I'm seeing just one story being told on the mainstream media, which is normal, right? And then I'm seeing the people that were waking up on TikTok and on X, and they're saying the things that we said, and it's just like, hallelujah, it's about time. And they're just discovering this, like this is, and we're just like, okay, yeah, let's just kind of get through this, get through your learning curve. This is how I feel about it. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's actually a very good and positive thing. It's just that when some people have been awake for 30 years versus 30 days, right? So let's just see here. And one of the things I do want to talk about is that when there's a missing person, and there's over 600,000 cases, and most of them are resolved very quickly. But then, like I said, the small subset of it is the senior citizen, and they always relate it to dementia or wandering. I'm sure that is the case, but it usually goes local on a Facebook page. Hey, my dad walked away, or some other story. It doesn't get the publicity that this particular story is out there getting, and you've got to wonder why. And I'm not going to give you guys the answers, and each one of you are very intelligent and can think for yourself. And if you have any thoughts, please put them in the chat. You're more than welcome to. I'd love to see somebody in the chat here right now. So, yeah, there are a lot of silver alerts out there, and in a lot of local cases, missing adults and stuff like that. But these are basically decentralized by state or locality. That's where I'm kind of going with it. But the recent news highlights only a handful of individuals, in profile. Like, let me just give you a few of them. See if you heard of this one. Nancy Guthrie, 84, Arizona, reported missing around February 1st. Everybody raise your hand. Whoa, I heard it. How about Lori Hoberson, 76, going to search for, um, going, ongoing search for this silver alert. And what else do we have out there? Diet Spencer, she's 69 and 70 out of Utah. Lori Harberson is 76. And Delete Spencer, if I'm saying her, Diet Spencer, she's been missing since late January. There's a few other ones in the 70, 74-year-old California, Alabama, Birmingham area. And there's a lot of scattered local stories out there. So why do you think that this one is so important? It's because there is a particular media person that is attached to this, and you have to go much deeper than that. That's all that I'm going to say to you guys on this. And let's just take a look and see if there's anything else that you guys have out there. So I want to kind of talk about another different story. I don't want to give this story any more energy than it already has out on the mainstream media. Okay, and so where I'm actually going to move to next is I'm going to actually move to more Freaky Friday things. So this is Freaky Fridays because again, two worlds, right? This is what I keep talking about. We have two worlds. We have some of the people will say like, oh, there's these eccentric far left people, and then there's these other people they call MAGA, and they seem to collide, or whatever category you want to label, whatever you want to label it in. But a lot of women right now are basically taking part in a new trend of tattooing the freckles on their faces. I didn't know about this one in particular, but this fad is going to fade, but will their tattoos fade? And so this woman's going on and on. Here she is kind of showing it. Some are, more in depth than the others, and they think that this is all a really cool thing to do. It's just more Freaky Friday things. Hey, Buckshot's out there. Yeah, and this is another big coincidence, and to give you more food for thought for some of you people out there. Why is these Guthries? Why are they all over the TV set? And this is from on the right hand side of your screen, Silence of the Lamb. And I don't know who's tying this together. People are thinking that this is Jodie Foster out there. This is what I'm saying. People pull information, they hear one bit of information, and their mind automatically goes to a place that I have to sometimes think and process. How did you come up with this? Well, now they're all coming up to it because it came from the movie Silence of the Lamb. All right, if you want to play that game, you're more than welcome to play that game. And so, what was actually being said here? Let's just take a listen. Talk to her, and you will see. Was a comment that is even being made. And if you tell me, let me just kind of blow this up a little bit more. I can't really get this all on the screen. I have to change this a little bit. Let's just do this and just see where we're going with this.
She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
Talk to her and you will see. And that's where Silence of the Lamb from 1991 has come about. How many people have said that and didn't even know it was? I've never even seen the movie.
Catherine is very gentle and kind. Talk to her and you'll see.
All right, there you guys go. If it depends on where you want to put your energy, right? Where your thoughts goes, where your mind goes is where your energy goes. Okay, so moving right along from any of that. Yeah, there's just more Hollywood people that are crumbling out there, and it is the truth. So this happens to be Jamie Lee Curtis. She has her voice, and it's still more of this ice stuff going on. I thought that by now it would have all melted, but apparently not. They've got Project Angel out there. I guess has paid her a lot of money to come out, and that's the way that it goes. And so this is the normie starting to realize how bad it's getting. And okay, so that's just basically where I'm kind of going with this here. And oh wait, and there's more. We're going back to this one. This is Q Mom. I call her Flip Flop, and she was also Nancy Drew. back when everybody was pretty much the first group was, or maybe the second group was waking up. But this is where she's doing her comparison, and she's taking a look, and she's basically saying that it looks like Jodie Foster is playing Savannah Girthy, however you say it. You know what? This is a much younger picture of Savannah, excuse me, of Savannah and of Jodie Foster. And I understand there's Hollywood in their makeup. You believe what you want to believe. All right, let's see what else we have out here. Yeah, so this is SGT report, and I've been following him a lot lately. I'm going to talk a little bit more about other things with him also. It says nobody ever said this in any situation in a million years unless it was scripted. I don't know about that, but it's saying every MK Ultra CIA assassins these days seems to be, I don't know what these acronyms mean, but should be expected central casting and also provide captors for Nancy. Ella's Silence of the Lambs. Fame seems to be required payment in the form of one child to many other celebrities. It feels like so. Okay, so this her mother was very wealthy, and there's ties to the Clintons. There's more to this, and we're gonna basically be able to maybe hear a little bit more about it. If you don't follow TikTok, you may not know about it. TikTok, those kids out there has got everything out there. They've got the whatever. There's 30,000 Epstein files that released 100, maybe over 300,000 files already, and they are using them. They are talking about them. They are dissecting them, and they are basically giving you information, and it's just crazy. So this morning, um, the TV's on in our living room, and my husband's got he was reading something. He's got the TV on. We all do that, right? And I just happened to look up, and they are showing all these pictures of the Epstein Isle. You can access, you could get all these photos, and you've got some guy out there from another country who's basically trying to interpret this, and it's just going. Everybody's imagination is going every which way with loose, and this is what we knew was going to happen. Another shiny object. That's all that I'm going to say out there, and I'm going to give a shout out to Charlene and Bucky that are out there. Buckshot, how are you doing? What's going on in the world of the gold and the silver? We're going to talk a little bit about that, and I also do have one video. It's going to be very lengthy, but it's going to explain there's more behind these Epstein files and really what's going on, and it's a really good segue, and it's coming up right here. It says. This is coming from Fletch 17, and I listened to this about 3 times because I had to. It's interesting. So, if you follow X and you want this information, I wish that there was an actual way for me to get the video and put it out on Rumble. But wait, the Epstein dump isn't about trips to the island, it's about the 2008 market collapse. Gotta listen to this. The Epstein files aren't about island trips, and they're about who's running the 2008 bailout from the inside. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee. This is probably 15 minutes. I'm not going to go the whole 15 minutes on this. Maybe I'll just kind of break it down. This woman everybody's given her really good reviews, if you will. So it's more about Lord Mandelson, yeah, who's leaking bank secrets to Epstein while he's in jail. Now Trump is dismantling their whole system, and if you hear things that Trump says, so let's just take a listen
Putin
here.
And Kremlin spies raised fears he was a Russian agent. Now here's what they don't want. The 2008 financial crisis was never really solved. The banks got bailed out at the expense of the American taxpayers and the economy. And now Donald Trump is finally taking down that criminal free trade system of the global bankers. On the very same day these new Mandelson revelations came out, Donald Trump was busy dismantling what is left of that old world order with dramatic new economic moves, including the creation of a strategic critical minerals reserve. Now, if you think this is a coincidence, you haven't been paying attention. And most important, it's not about sex and blackmail. I'm Susan Kokinda, and for months I've been telling you that the big reveal in the Epstein files was about Peter Mandelson. and how it had more to do with the 2008 financial collapse and the banker's empire than it did plane trips to an island. So if you want to get above the noise and get the deeper story, hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons so we can stay in touch and we can reach more people. We're going to look at three things today. First, new Epstein revelations on Mandelson and why Epstein called him the acting deputy prime minister during the 2008-2010 financial crisis. How President Trump is addressing the root causes of that financial collapse by abandoning the banker's model of free trade. And third, how Project Vault, the new strategic mineral reserve, is a powerful reassertion of American economic sovereignty. So the real big casualty of this latest dump is Lord Peter Mandelson, the former British ambassador to the United States who had the assignment of trying to manage Donald Trump. That didn't work out so well. His was one of the first heads to roll in the first Epstein file release. He was forced to resign as ambassador. But now this new file dump has forced Mandelson to resign both from the Labour Party and to leave his seat in Parliament. And a few minutes ago, this headline just dropped. How King Charles could strip Mandelson of his peerage. Now, to the extent the American press has even mentioned Mandelson's resignations, they portray it as another disgusting episode in the world of jet-setting perverts. But that's only the subplot. They don't want you to look at the main storyline. Mandelson wasn't just socializing with Epstein. He was a top-level policy operative embedded in the British government. And the new files show devastating evidence that in 2009 and 2010, right in the middle of the financial crisis, Mandelson was leaking highly sensitive government information to Jeffrey Epstein. We're talking about advanced knowledge on bailouts and asset sales. Epstein was providing his clients with more than sexual services. Epstein was the fixer, Mandelson was the inside man. Remember, here's what Epstein told Ghislaine Maxwell in June 2009. That little Petey, which was his actual nickname for Mandelson, was for all intents and purposes practically the deputy prime minister. The real story is about policy. Perversions are the tool of the trade. So here's a few of the highlights of what little Petey did for Epstein.
Okay, so I just want to stop this here. So everybody's saying, oh my God, Epstein Island, all the pedals and all that other stuff, that's just a tool to get something much bigger accomplished. And it's almost like, again, the shiny object, right? So people who are going to be drawn to the shiny objects are going to go to the 84-year-old missing lady. They are going to go to all the pedal pictures and so on. But if there's always something much, much bigger, and this is what she's explaining. Let's listen a little bit longer. Give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying this.
In June of 2009, he sent him a Downing Street memo on a £20 billion asset sale and said, interesting note that's just going to the Prime Minister. 2 months later, he leaked a confidential banking memo 4 seconds after receiving it. In May of 2010, he tipped off about a 500 billion Eurozone bailout, saying, this should be announced tonight, just leaving number 10. And on May 10th, he gave Epstein advance notice of Gordon Brown's resignation. The Prime Minister finally got him to go today. But it gets worse. Mandelson wasn't just leaking, he was fixing. In one of the newly released files, Mandelson advises Jamie Dimon, head of JP Morgan, on the need to mildly threaten the Chancellor of the Exchequer. This is how the post-2008 system acted.
Okay, so some of you are out there, and one person in particular is saying, we've all heard this. Nothing's really happening. There are things that are happening. See, that phrase right there goes right through me. When people say nothing is happening out there, what's happening is the information is getting out there. So you may have heard this, but do you understand why? Do you think it's about the Epsteins? Do you think it's actually about all the pedophiles out there? Are you seeing the bigger picture of how it's incorporated into the world and how we have got somebody out there that is basically taking down all this? To me, I honor that. I will honor that information, and I won't ignore it just because I think that somebody already heard it or somebody says, we know this already. How much of this do you actually know? Seriously, when you got somebody out there that's saying, okay, look, I'm going to explain this to you, and here's another way of viewing this. And let me ask you this. Did you actually have this perspective of it? And there's a lot of people out there who will try to decode all this information and give you bits and bytes. But when they have 10 people on a round table all giving you their information, when it's all said and done, are you clear as mud when they are done with their show? This is what I'm talking about. If you just listen and follow a few people out there enough to say, okay, I understand what's going on and I get it's not about the 84-year-old lady. Yeah, maybe they're just trying to show you all the connections in Hollywood. Yes, I get that. It goes much bigger than that. Let's carry on.
Actually worked. A network of fixers, bankers, and political operatives ensuring that governments served financial institutions with bailouts, not national interests. Epstein connected the money, Mandelson opened the doors. And now the system that protection racket served is being challenged by Donald Trump. So when you see little Petey resign now, it's not because of compromising pictures of him in his skivvies. The acting deputy prime minister of the globalist order has lost his mandate because the financial system, which was kept on artificial life support by the post 2008 bailouts, is being dismantled. Now, since he came back into office, Donald Trump has been taking a jackhammer to the globalist system. His new Fed chair appointee has gone on record saying that the perpetual bailout policy of the Fed post 2008 was a disaster.
Okay, so this part here is new because he just assigned a new Fed. How many of you guys are paying attention to this? Let's just listen a little bit longer.
He's going to end it. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has said the mission of the government should be to support the real economy and household incomes, not the financial system. And now
the real economy and not the financial system. Yes, we heard this over and over again. And now if you also take a look at what had happened with silver and the gold is doing fine. And everybody was out there thinking, oh my God, we're at 95, we're at 100, 110, 120. And then it just kind of came all the way down to like 60. Who is in charge of that? I heard JP Morgan is basically the guy that's in charge of it. But how does that actually work? If there's a war that was to break out, the military is going to get it. And from the military, after the military gets their silver to do whatever they need to do to blow up anything that's used out there, then it actually goes to the elites, the wealthy people. And after the wealthy people, maybe the bankers will get it. And the bankers are the ones who are out there only selling you the paper. And that's part of the problem right now. As Buck says, it's all a spider web. But let's just listen a little bit more to what she has to say.
President Trump implementing new trade deals which throw free trade in the crapper. Now, the mainstream media wants to present Trump's policies as chaotic and disruptive, and it argues that it's the Europeans and people like Canada's Mark Carney who are the adults in the room. But let's look at who is failing their populations and who's actually protecting them. Now, remember, just less than 2 weeks ago in Davos, Canada's Mark Carney and the EU's Ursula von der Leyen defiantly told the world that Europe, Canada, and the middle powers would forge their own way without Donald Trump's United States. And they would continue to carry the banner of free trade and windmills. Von der Leyen stood up on stage and boasted that the mother of all trade deals between the EU and India was coming. And it was signed on January 27th. As promised, that deal was based on the twin pillars of free trade and the fraud of climate change and green energy. But less than a week later, President Trump closed an American deal with Prime Minister Modi's India. In addition to reducing tariffs on both sides, which will go down to zero for U.S. exports to India, the deal announced a huge purchase of American goods by India. President Trump announced it in a Truth Social post. He said, the Prime Minister also committed to buy American at a much higher level in addition to over $500 billion of U.S. energy, technology, agriculture, coal, and other products. $500 billion in purchases from key sectors of the American physical economy. Now circle back to the European deal. They got no specific purchase commitments, hoping that the magic of the marketplace will, I guess, do its magic. And it's not just India where the globalists aren't faring so well with their trade deals. The EU trade deal with South American nations.
So I'm not going to, there's like probably another 7 or 8 minutes left of this, but I think you're getting the gist of it is that, it's a huge chess move, and Buck says it's a big spider web. Once one statement is made by Trump and they agree, and then they make a different move, another chess move out there. It's that is why, and I get you guys understand this a lot on a lot of levels. Whoever follows me, but it comes down to it that they'll say one thing and then do another, and it's almost as if he is battling this war based upon their moves. Is It may sound obvious, but actually, you have to pay attention to the moves that are actually being made out there. And everybody says, "I just want this over with. I just want the truth out there." That is coming from the mindset of someone who really doesn't understand all the pieces nor cares about the pieces. What is the truth? You want the Epstein files out there? They're out there. There's your truth. You want to know about what's going on with silver, or about our financial system, about the Federal Reserve? It's out there. That's the truth. What else are you looking for? What is it that you think that you can get justification for your sovereignty of being alive in this world, in this planet at this time? All right. So, I just kind of play along. I observe. I've been an observer for many, many years on all this stuff. I try not to jump to conclusions, but the only conclusions I can jump to is when I see bullshit, as I keep calling him Paul, as Buckshot will say. When it's bullshit, you call out bullshit, and there's a lot of that. And let me just see here. Oh, so this is interesting. I just wanted to show you there are people that are walking around and they're dressed like they are in the 1930s. These people out here are just they're dressed to the T as far as I'm concerned. I say go for it, man. Continue dressing like this because they've got the haircuts, they've got everything that we need to get back to the way that it used to be. Maybe with a slightly different, but here you guys go. You can't say that look at this guy. He's even in awe of how these guys are dressed up. He's just like, wow, we haven't seen people dress up in a long time. Maybe we're getting back to that. I'm not sure. I sure would like to hope so. All right, let's see what else we have out here. Besides they're letting the kids out of the schools. Parents are upset. They never got approval on all that. That's kind of like some of the things that are going on out there. Let me see here. Okay. So they're basically talking about the SEC is a joke, the CFTC is a joke, and the dollar is fast becoming a joke. Physical precious metals is the real money. Escape the matrix while you can. And a lot of people are basically calling it the control grid. They're moving away from the matrix mindset or the inverted matrix. And if you've heard the term control grid, this is the new term, I guess, that they're using to try to get away from that other one. Let's see what else we have out here. So let's see here. I don't even want to go into any of that Hollywood bullshit. It doesn't do anything for me. Okay, I think I'm all caught up here with you guys. Just want to check in and see how you're doing. Is anybody out there that I haven't said hello to? Let's see what Charlene has to say. She's saying JP Morgan is not even in charge of JP Morgan. I don't know that for a fact or not, but I just heard on SGT report that he upped and moved his headquarters to Shanghai. So that's all I want to know. Let's see here. Buck is saying dress how you want to dress. Well, yeah, Buck, don't you feel better though when you're really dressed up really nice? And then sometimes you're like, I just want to wear a t-shirt and shorts, right? Especially when you live in the South here. All right, this picture that I've got up here, I just really want to talk about these wicked, wicked people. I don't even want to play the sound on it because it's so disturbing. It really is. And let's see where I think I lost myself here. Hold on one second. Let's see here. Okay, there I am. So this woman here, she just kind of freaks me out. She's a little bit crazy, and I'm seeing a lot of these people that are really crazy like this. And come on, you guys, give me your thoughts on this. Even the look at the madness on these faces, don't you think? And they have no filters, and they think they can get out there and scream and threaten and do all this other kind of stuff. You're not going to tell me that there hasn't been something out there that was either put in the water, that was put in their food, that was put in something. People, I bet you if you were to interview her maybe 15 years ago, she's probably was nothing like this. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right. What was 3 weeks ago when it moved? I'm not sure what she means. I kind of moved on with my thought process out there, Charlene. Let me put it up what she's referring to. Okay. Let's see what else we have out here. Uh, let's see what else we have out here. So these are just basically some of my stories that I've been kind of going through X. I tend to stay away from it. I haven't opened it up in a couple of days. I've been pretty busy doing a lot of other things. And it's just getting to the point that I kind of let things like slide for a long time. I won't pay attention to it, and then all of a sudden, it's just like, oh my God, this 84-year-old woman that's missing. Who gives a shit? Seriously, they're all millionaires, and they're putting up 200 and I don't know $2,500 as a reward to somebody. It's just crazy, and all the stories behind it. And if you guys can't see that, I don't know what to tell you. Um, yeah. Oh, this is real interesting. How many of you guys actually got tricked into buying high school rings for $300? And are you still wearing yours? Unfortunately, I wasn't able to afford it, so I never got one. And let me tell you, being in high school when everything is trending, and everybody is like going for what everyone else is doing, whether you're on the football team and you're playing football, or you're in the band, or you're out in a building smoking cigarettes, or you belong to that clique. There's just various cliques throughout high school, but the one thing that was common was everybody wanted their yearbook, and everybody wanted their pictures taken, and of course everybody wanted to graduate, and everybody wanted this ring. I gotta tell you, I never got the ring, and from a lot of people, I don't even see older people today that even still wear it. This was high school, and it was $300 back in 1980. What is that today? Do they still offer this? I don't know. What was the basis behind any of that? And let's see what else we have out here. Yeah, let's see where we're going with this stuff here. Okay. Yeah, and we're talking about this is more Freaky Friday stylish things if you want to talk it that way. We saw the men that were dressing in the 1930s. I thought that was really nice, very dapper. I liked it. Depends on what generation you're from. But in case you needed more proof that older hairstyles are one of the top reasons people from our past appear to be older to us. So this is the maid from, oh shit, what show is that? The Brady Bunch. This is her same face with her hair up versus her hair down. And I just thought that was kind of interesting. All right, let's see here. What am I doing here? All right, let's see here. Um, lots of nonsense stuff. Freaky Friday. All right, this is a good question. If any of you have kids, grandkids that are in the school system, it said, should the parents sue the school system for taking their elementary, middle school children out of class to protest against ICE? You guys, when's this story going to melt? All right, let's see what else we have out here. All right, which potion would you guys drink? This is Freaky Friday, you guys. I'm going to give you guys 5 potions. Please put it in the chat. Just play along with me. See if anybody is alive out there. Rumble, how are you doing? I see Buck is on both of them. He's on Rumble also. So, you want to stay young forever? You drink the green. You want to breathe in the sea? You drink the blue. You want to become invisible at any time? You drink the black. You want, what is that, $1,000,000 in cash? You drink the red. Or how about the time travel? All right, I'll go first. I want the purple. I want to time travel anytime that I can. I'm obsessed with time travel. I don't care about the money. I don't care about being invisible. I used to know how to be visible when I was a kid, invisible. All right. And it was a very easy thing. You don't want to get noticed. You just put that energy out there. And I live down by the sea, so I can breathe it in anytime I need to. Staying young forever? Well, that one there is a tricky one. In my mind, yes. My body, not so much. All right. So just let me know what you guys think. Who would want to time travel with me? All right. Let's see here. I'm not getting anybody out in the chat there. Let's see here. Anybody out on Rumble? I'm just going to type in a message and see. Okay. All right. Let's see what else we have going on out here. Yeah, a lot to talk about. John Travolta, stunning at 71, looks half his age. Come on, people. What have you learned about anything lately? My dog calls it bullshit. All right, let's see what else we have out here. Hot Pepper. This is coming from Hot Pepper. Rizzo, it's enough. Born October 20th, 1950 in Gainesville, Florida, to a mother who worked in a local tax office and a father who was a traveling salesman. His childhood was marked by a Southern Gothic atmosphere of severe physical abuse from his father, which later described him as living in, I think it's going to be hell. Living in hell. So you guys, I'm not going to read all this, but who do you guys, if you trying to think of a song that comes to mind. My God, there's so many of them. It's just like it's hitting the brain and it's bouncing right off again. Oh my God! All right, you guys help me out there. Who is this guy, and what was your favorite song that he sang out there? Um, looks like we may have gotten a package delivered. Why? I don't know. Okay, I'm not ordering anything. You guys send me something? That's great. All right, let's see here. Charlene says that she'll travel with me. I would love to travel with you, Charlene. Let's drink the purple potion. What is that? A song? Love potion number 9. Oh God, I can't sing. I lost my voice. All right, so I don't care about the manhunt. We're moving right along. People are out there saying these are all Sandy Hook shooting is elementary, Rob elementary shooting. These are all crisis actors. Wake up, people. This is what we've been talking about for the last 10 years or so. And welcome aboard if you're just seeing this for the first time. What else we have out there? And we've seen all this stuff here. They were all given the freedom of what they think is freedom. Yeah, they're all having some nooses put around their neck with a from the President Obama, I guess you could say. And let's see out there. Yeah, so there's been sightings of John F. Kennedy Jr. out there, you guys, and he's been wearing a really old beard. Have you seen him? Is he in your neighborhood? Let's see what else we have here. Oh, there's also more sightings out there. Is this the same person? I don't know. Do you? Let's see what else we have out here. This is a really good question. This always was a question for this goes into any generation. Who should a man listen to first, his mother or his wife? All right, I'm going to leave it there, and let's see. Oh, we have Leah is out there. Hey, Leah, how are you doing? Um, let's see. I'm just doing a Freaky Friday show. I was actually testing. I was supposed to have a guest on here to interview. Wasn't I? My internet was just all over the place yesterday. I don't know if it's the company I'm using or if it's my stuff, but we've been running tests to see, and I think you guys are saying it's all pretty good. Um, let's see here. Yeah, this a lot of the stuff is like very very old stuff. We've seen it. To me, I call it regurgitating. It's just what comes around goes around, right? And it's just like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that one. I almost forgot about that one. right? Um, there you guys go. There you go, right there. Bam, right? What else we have out here? So, so the whole Democratic Party will be rebuilt. I'm almost positive of that. For everyone saying that ICE agents are just doing their jobs, well, stand with them in your neighborhood. Everybody's going to stand with them. I don't know. They've already been down here. I don't know. Let's see what else we have out here. A couple more things, and then I'm going to call that a wrap. A lot of people have out there been saying it feels like that nothing is real. This is the beginning of hello, wake up. And some are saying, can someone argue with me like we're in a toxic relationship? I'm bored as hell. Yeah, if you're bored as hell, it means you're staying away from a lot of things, and I think that's really good. I've just been, like I said, I only pick and choose when I want to get on social media or on X or even the mainstream media and news. Fox is all over, with the same story over and over again, and life can be kind of challenging, if you will, and there's got to be other things that you have to look into. I've picked up, a volunteer job that I started to do. I started going back to chair yoga, and oh my God, did I need it? And I'm hurting all week. Have you guys tried chair yoga? This is for men or women. It's not just a thing for women. In the class, there were a lot more men than normal. But you think it's easy and you're just sitting on a chair. Go try it or do it at home. There's YouTube videos out there that'll help you out. Yeah, so this lady here is basically just talking about the disappearance and um, also how it's all tying back to the Clintons and so on and so forth. It's just so old that I don't even have to go there anymore. All right, it says, why do we even need parties at this point? This is coming from Charlene. Let me put hers up here on the pizza. And let's see what we got. It says, why do we even need parties at this point? We need common sense. Amen. I'm telling you, where did common sense go? Somebody find it. Where did street smarts go? Because the street smarts I see out there, oh my God. I want to stand in front of a truck because I am so adamant in my opinion of how I feel about something. I am going to stand in front of a train. I am going to, just set up. I'm just going to go out and play in traffic. Oh my God. You've got Tom Homan out there telling people, hey, stop playing in traffic, would you? So Trump sends him up north to hear this. Oh my God. Let's see here. Sunray, Leah. Oh, I'm pointing on the wrong thing. She said for her exercise, she did chair Tai Chi. Um, I think this is with the handicap. That's okay. I mean, you're moving the energies, right? That's what it's all about. So I was in this room. I think there must have been close to maybe 50, 60 other senior citizens doing this. And the first time I go back after a while that I haven't been there, I'm right with that teacher. And then they actually have this thing, you're not sitting in the chair the whole time. You're using the chair to balance if you need it, or you're using the chair to like put your arm on and kick your leg back and your hand forward and your leg back, and it's just like doing regular exercises like when you were in grade school. I don't even know if they do that for the kids, if they let them exercise anymore. But and then when they took like this huge rubber band, right, and that you're pulling it and you're putting it over your head and you're coming down with it and stuff like that. Oh my God, I couldn't even hold my cell phone. She just says, okay, you don't you don't you want to really pull that rubber band and hold on it and grip it and move it up and down and stuff like that. I didn't think anything of it, but my God, it's like my hands hurt. Wussy, wussy, wussy. All right, let's see here. Okay, what else do we have going on out here? I want to try the Tai Chi. I've been wanting to do the Tai Chi, and my one friend always wants to go for the chair yoga, or she wants to do the walking. I did some walking today. I'm really trying to get my body moving, and I hope you guys are doing that too. Let's see here. What else do we have here? Oh, okay. So, slice of pizza. All right, we're always talking about food here. What is this? This says, is it acceptable to eat pizza for breakfast? Yes, says Janine. Silver Ripple. I don't know about you, but I think that there's every college kid in the world has eaten pizza for breakfast. It's not a bad thing. It's got all your major. Well, what are your food groups nowadays? All right, let's see here. What else do we have? I'm just making myself laugh. DoorDash is an IQ test. Do you want a cheeseburger for $27? Or will you go pick one up for $6? Do, 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 do. Put your answer in down below. Play at home, if you will. I've never used DoorDash. How many of you can say that? Never used it. Let's see here. Let's see here. Charlene has a statement. What's her statement? I have a handicapped grips in my shower. When we moved in years ago, I was annoyed. Today, I'm glad they're still there. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, time flies when you're having fun, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, I really need this to. And the whole thing of chair yoga is to keep your balance. We're always talking about, oh, we got to get aligned. We got to do this. We got to get in touch with our spiritual. What about the body? I've seen a lot of people that would use the chair to help them balance, right? And I gave a lot of credit to the men that were there. And I really did. And there was a couple of times when she would say, okay, you know how you got to put one foot in front of the other and then switch and put one foot in front of the other, right? And then switch back again. Try doing that and keeping your balance. I'm sure you can. If I can, I'm sure you can. And I hope you guys are doing stuff like that. Okay, one last thing. I know there are a lot of you guys that aren't even going to give a shit about this particular topic, the Super Bowl that's coming up. And a lot of people are saying Bad Bunny. I don't even know what the hell a Bad Bunny is. Somebody, please educate me on this because I don't pay attention to this shit. Me and my husband says, what is a Bad Bunny? But all of a sudden I see Kid Rock and all these other people from different groups, right? They're getting together, going to have their own halftime show somewhere else at the same time as this one. I thought that was kind of cool. What is a Bad Bunny? All right, let's see what else here. Raise your hand if you remember when school lunch was real food made from scratch. The real lunch ladies who cared. To tell you the truth, it's been too long for me to even remember. So if you were a lunch lady, let me know because there were a lot of moms out there that stepped up and served the kids food, and they did care what they were putting in the food back in my day. I don't know about the other generations, but let's just see here what else we have going on here. Let's see what we have going on here. It's kind of creepy shit that's out there. For some reason, everybody is really talking about the 70s, big time. Every time you look at something, and I look at it and go, oh man, I miss that time. I was that skinny at one time in my life, right? And, can I blame it on just the food? Probably not. It was, lack of exercise, but we were always moving. My body was always on the go. Why is everybody really pinpointing the 70s now and the 80s? And it's because the boomers are leaving. They are leaving. And that's just how it goes, you guys. The next generation is what, Gen X? I guess there's a Gen in there somewhere. All right, let's see what else we have out here. What is this? What age did you stop doing this bubble wrap? I still do it. All right, this guy here. I don't know if you guys ever see this guy. This is Stephen Baldwin. He talks very cryptic, but he's basically saying they're all in on it. They're all in on it. There's a lot of different things out there, but I want to play this for 1 minute because I love this song, and I think this is really cool to kind of remember the 70s by. Listen. Okay, that's Come and Get Your Love. I don't know if you guys actually remember that, but it was by the first Native American band in 1974. It resurfaced in 2014, and I guess the Guardian of the Galaxies. And what was your first thought when you heard that song? Where were you in 1974? I think I was still in grade school, to be honest with you. Was I? Was I? Yes, yes, I was. I was probably seventh, sixth grade, something like that. Let's see. Who do we have out there? We got who just joined us? Shabby Maverick, 1975. She just got home doing laundry, and she says I was 5'8" and 3/4" and 140 pounds, size 11. Um, yeah, yep. What was your What was the least amount that you weighed? We're talking adults, okay? We're talking adults here. Since Shabby Maverick brought it up, where you felt the best, you were in your own women's power. You knew your power as a woman, that type of thing. How old were you? All right, let's see here. Let's see here. Charlene is saying perfect for Freaky Friday. Yeah, Stephen Baldwin is straight up weird. Or it's the part he plays. Now I've seen him on talk shows. I don't know. I don't. It's I think he's playing a part, but it's almost like he's I can't think of the Corey Feldman where he wants to say what happened, but he doesn't, fear of whatever reason. But yeah. I did not know that those were all Native Americans because back in the day when this music was out, I don't think we saw their faces. I don't think we saw video unless you went to the concerts. And when you did go to the concert, you were so far back, way, way, way back, that you still didn't even get to see what they look like. You just wanted to bring in the ambience, be with your friends, and enjoy the music. I kind of miss that the most out of everything. I kind of think that a lot of kids are being cheated of that. Maybe they'll come back around. I don't know. Technology is moving in as I am moving out. All right, let's see what else we have here. I don't want to talk about that one because that one's kind of powerful here. But anybody living in New York? New York City. New York City. I don't think people are going to be running in New York anymore. Is he part of the movie and why? Why are they waking him up? I don't know. All right, let's see what else we have out here. I think that's just about it. A lot of sad, sad people. That's all that I can say, and it's just a lot of people that I don't know feel like they need to attack other people. I think that's how they need to feel like they're in control, and it's really sad. What would you do? I'm going to stop sharing and come back to you guys. If you were approached someplace and somebody was to come up and just basically disagree with whether you're wearing a MAGA hat, whether you're wearing a shirt, whether you were jaywalking, I don't care what it is, but these people out there are they're talking tough and they have to F around to find out. Would you protect yourself? Would you stick up for yourself? Would you just walk away and ignore them? I wouldn't. You know what? I don't know what I would do to be honest with you guys, and that's the truth. They see a lot of people and they disagree with a lot of things in society. And let's just say you're a bird watcher for God's sakes. You're out there, you're out there in nature, and somebody comes walking along. You're getting ready to walk the path to go out and view the birds, and you got a pair of binoculars or something, and they're anti bird watching. I don't know how else to put this, but what would you do if they're going to come up and they're literally, it's the energy of being attacked. Whether than that they even touched you, but that's what's coming at you, and that's what I've been seeing, and I was showing you earlier in here. people are angry, they're just pissed off. And you tell me that's not from a certain thing that injected into their body, whether it was from the air, from the water, from the food. I don't care. You label it. It's something that has happened here. And you guys just put your opinion out there. Just let me know what you think that all of this is. We can always go and say, yeah, they're libtards, they were brainwashed. But what was it? At what point in time did all of this happen? All of a sudden, there's Trump, and then the schools administration said, okay, every teacher out there, you're going to get brainwashed. You don't even know it, and you're going to teach this to the kids, and so on and so forth. There had to be a plan. This all had to be worked out because some of these kids grew up and they're adults now and they're behaving like this. And that's what breaks my heart. That's what breaks my heart for humanity. And I don't know. I don't know where else to go with this at this point in time. All right, I'm coming up on an hour. I'm glad you guys are here. Let's see what we have. I got Charlene saying, I would walk away, but if someone touches me, well, now that's another story. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. You touched me. I would say, don't look at me. You're looking at me. Don't look at me. I don't know. It's their energy, you guys. You can sense their energy before they even get to you. That's where we're at this time. The one thing I do have a lot of empathy for, and I have to control myself on this one here, is all of these dogs that are out there. I see more dogs being picked up, and now they have the show out there. It's called Rescue Drone. If you guys get a chance, if you've seen it, let me know. But it's out on Facebook. It's called Rescue Drone, where if you got a dog that all of a sudden disappears and it's out in the field someplace and you can give the parameters of where you live, these guys will go out and pick up the heat sensors in the coldest day and the snowiest day and the worst weather and determine and be able to zoom in and find your dog for you. Obviously, you got to pay for it. It's something that's up and coming, but I'm hoping that it becomes a show. I really do. A lot of people have been wanting this. So to keep myself busy in down times of when I'm not, volunteering or doing something, I'll get out there and I'll just, kind of do one of these things. I'm on my phone and I'm just like, oh, poor dog. Oh my God. Oh, look at it. And all of a sudden I'll turn to my husband and say, oh, should we get him? Should we get him? And he'll go, no. Right. And I'll go the next day. All right. All right. And I'll talk myself into it. Well, one day I finally made a phone call. And it got the best of me, and it didn't work out for me, but somebody else actually adopted it. One of the things that I cannot do is adopt a dog. I've talked about this in the past, and they have all these rules and regulations. If you have other pets in your house, they all have to be, everything has to be up to date and taken care of, and spayed and neutered and yada yada and all this other stuff. And that breaks my heart. It really does, because you're just wanting to give one of them a home and they're controlling it. Another control grid is added to the matrix mindset. And I love all animals. My dog told me today that he was bored as hell and wanted to go for a walk, and he was so excited about it. I'm so in tune with my dog. He lets me know when it's time for me to get my ass off the couch or do something. They really do talk to you, and there are our gods. They are our teachers. And all I can say is, if I can just, with ending this, is people stop dumping your dogs in fields. But there are people out there that go down certain roads and they know that this is a dumping field, and they get those babies and they bring them back to the shelters and they hold them for 3 days, and they'll say, is this your dog? Did your dog get loose? Did your dog run away? And if not, somebody else that falls in love with this dog has to be able to nurture this wounded soul back to being loved again. And it is so heartbreaking. And I know that all of you guys have seen these out there. So with that, just be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and especially take care of your fur babies. Take care, everybody, now. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye now.